ZFG, Dilworth, Fargo, Moorhead, USA. It's 4 o'clock.
The president sends a message to fellow Democrats. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, taking questions a short time ago after yesterday's election results on whether his lagging popularity was a factor for Democrats underperforming. Fox's Gernal Scott has this live.
Lisa, the president said if his infrastructure and budget initiatives passed prior to Election Day, maybe the outcome changes.
But I'm not sure that I would be able to have changed the number of very conservative folks who turned out in the red districts who were Trump voters.
In governor's races, a Virginia loss and a virtual tie in New Jersey led the president to the way to avoid similar midterm outcomes.
I think we should produce for the American people.
When asked, the president did not immediately assume responsibility for the poor performances at the polls. Lisa.
Thanks, Gernal. Meantime, a voting rights bill fails to advance again in the U.S. Senate. Fox's Jared Halpern is live on Capitol Hill.
For the fourth time since the summer, Senate Democrats tried to advance a voting rights measure designed to reinstate pre-clearance of state voting laws.
Today's obstruction was only the latest in a series of disturbing turns for the Republican Party.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said the Republican filibuster denying debate on the John Lewis Voting Rights Act was a low point. All but one Republican, Alaska's Lisa Murkowski, voted against the procedural motion.
In order to let Attorney General Garland dictate voting procedures, Democrats want to overturn Supreme Court precedent.
Republican leader Mitch McConnell warns of a federal power grab over state elections. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. President Biden urging parents to get younger kids vaccinated a day after the CDC's final approval for ages 5 to 11.
My administration is ready. We're ready from day one today, organized and have a plan for this vaccination's launch.
America is listening to Fox News.
Did you know that you might be overpaying for your prescriptions? It's okay, because there's an easy, convenient solution. Check GoodRx. GoodRx lets you compare prices at different pharmacies and shows you where to get the lowest price. Here's Joe, a doctor and GoodRx customer.
I was able to look up some medicines that I was going to get, and it saved me a good amount of money.
GoodRx is helping millions of people, and it can help you too. For simple, smart savings, check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance. In 2020, GoodRx users saved an average of 79% off retail prices. Individual compensated for their time. Visit GoodRx.com/radio to learn more.
Big news from Simply Safe Home Security. Okay. Actually, I think the horns are too much. That's better. Big news. The new wireless outdoor security camera is here. Yes, Simply Safe's award-winning home security just got even better, taking whole home protection to a whole new level. Okay, I'm missing the horns. Simply Safe is celebrating this new camera by offering free shipping for a limited time. Visit simplysafe.com today.
A day after he was let go at the Las Vegas Raiders, former wide receiver Henry Ruggs is hit with felony DUI charges for the crash early yesterday that set another car on fire, killing a 23-year-old woman.
His blood alcohol level came back at 0.16. That's twice the legal limit.
Clark County, Nevada DA Stephen Wolfson says the Corvette Ruggs was driving topped 150 miles per hour. Ruggs could face more than 20 years in prison if convicted. A last-minute disruption to seating a jury for the trial of 3 white men who killed Ahmaud Arbery, a black man out for a run in their Georgia neighborhood last year. Just after the potential jury pool was narrowed to 12, the prosecutor, noting that only one juror was black, accused the defense of race-based decisions to eliminate 7 black panelists. A defense attorney denied it, saying those potential jurors showed bias in their answers to attorneys' questions. The judge has yet to rule. A lot of us have had a lot more screen time during the pandemic, but the average daily use among teens more than doubled.
In a study published in the journal JAMA Pediatrics, the group of international researchers found screen use rose to 7.7 hours per day from pre-pandemic estimates of 3.8 hours per day. This study used data from the Adolescent Brain Cognitive Development Study from 2016 to May 2020, which had more than 5,400 teens self-report the hours they spent looking at a screen during a typical day. Using data software, researchers also found poorer mental health and greater stress were associated with higher total screen use.
Fox's Monica DeLuca. The Fed's pandemic help for the economy will start winding down this month with a reduction in bond purchases, but they're still leaving interest rates alone for now. And on Wall Street, more records. The Dow up 105 to 36,157. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Throughout the evening hours, we'll continue to see light winds out of the south between 5 and 10 miles per hour, with temperatures falling through the 40s into the 30s, bottoming out to a low of 25 tonight, with mostly clear skies and light winds. The winds will pick up for your Thursday, though, around 10 to 20 out of the south. It'll be mostly sunny again with a high near 52. The clouds then roll in for your Friday. We'll call it partly sunny with a high in the lower 50s and south winds between 10 and 25. From the Flag Skywatch Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm.
Every day is when you're faced with finding the right rehabilitation hospital for you or a loved one, choose a higher standard of care with Pam Health Rehab Hospital of Fargo. We offer state-of-the-art personalized care for optimum recovery. Your care will be aimed at increasing independence and quality of life. Remember, you have a choice. Choose a full continuum of care with Pam Health Rehab Hospital of Fargo. Please call 701-404-5104 or go online to postacutemedical.com.
One more.
Buckle up, folks. Buckle up. We've got an incredible show in store for you today. If you want to understand what's happening right now from a global, national perspective, a local perspective, to you and me in the biggest psyop. And what I mean by psyop, someone asked me to explain this, but the biggest psyop in the history of mankind. I'm going to break it down for you today from a historical perspective to unveil some things to you that you're going to be like, whoa. I did not know that. Okay, my antennas are now up. So a PSYOP is a psychological operation. It's when the media, we've talked about Operation Mockingbird in the past year. If you don't know what that is, please look it up. We've got a limited amount of time today for me to get into this, so we're going to just plant some seeds, drop some crumbs for you. There'll be more to this, so just hang with me, folks. We're going to talk about the biggest psyop in the history of mankind from a historical perspective, which will help you then understand the spiritual war that you and I are in right now. The spiritual warfare that is happening right now and why it's so critically important, as we've talked about before on the show, why you and I do not give into a spirit of fear, but a spirit of love, power, and a sound mind. How many people do you know right now that are operating with a sound mind? We're going to dive into that. Welcome to the Chris Berg Show, coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studio, helping you and America fuel better. As you're driving home from work or anytime you're driving around, please stop into your local PetroServe USA, grab some gas and some goodies. For anybody out there who's read a book called The Fourth Turning, if you haven't, I would encourage you to do it. It's a little bit of a wonky read, and yet if you love history, you will absolutely love this book. And one of the premises that I think we all kind of know, but it lays it out really well, is that history repeats itself. And oftentimes why we repeat history is because people just don't live long enough to understand the historical cycles, and so we continue to repeat things, and it happens much more in a seasonal, cyclical fashion. And as I break this down for you today, I want you to see and understand better the psyop that's happening right now. And then as this becomes unveiled to you, I want to let you know that today's show is sponsored by the We the People, We Will Not Comply rally. That's coming up in Bismarck on Monday, November 8th. It's from noon to 2. It's on the Capitol steps. Let me repeat this, and I want you to grab buses, trucks, cars, whoever, trains, planes, automobiles, right? The whole shebang to come join us in Bismarck, Monday, November 8th from noon to 2 on the Capitol steps. It's the We the People, We Will Not Comply rally. The organizer of that rally, Jay Lundeen, is going to join us in the next segment. So let me share this with you. What's happening here? I'm going to do this in some current context and then use some historical context, and you'll start to see how these things spring together. Many of you know the reason why I'm now here full-time at Flag Family Media is because my old employer mandated the COVID shot. I said, thanks, but no thanks. And I will share with you as I go around the community a very large percentage of you are so gracious to me and say, Chris, thank you for taking a stand. I appreciate what you did. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will share with you, though, there are some people, like you meet people, you can kind of feel how people respond to you, how they see you, how they look at you. Like there are some people that I know because of the news around this and what the Fargo Forum did in regards to me saying no to the shot. There are some people that look at me like, oh, he's dangerous. He's not vaccinated. So it's important you understand this context because of the brush that's being painted around people that are not vaccinated. I've shared with you before, and this really happened, I think it was September 9th when President Joe Biden stood up with the mic. And this is supposed to be the uniter, right? The president that was going to unite us. And he essentially gets up there and says, hey, America, you know what? I'm with you. I get it. I get it. These rubes that aren't vaccinated, you know what? They're bringing us down. They're the problem. I mean, he essentially said those words and said, yeah, I get why you're frustrated with those 80 million rubes that haven't taken the shot. So I want to share with you a clip here. This is from Tucker Carlson from the middle of October. I played this on our show one time before, but I want to play this for you again to give you the context of where we're going here, to help you see the seeds that are being planted, the way the media is being manipulated. Remember, I played through the clip where, hey, Meet the Press, brought to you today by Pfizer. Hey, CNN, Anderson Cooper, brought to you today by Pfizer, right? Like Big Pharma is running many of these media organizations. So listen closely to officials. I'm not going to call them leaders, but officials of our nation, okay? And what they are saying to you, and you and I both know this is happening a lot. This is what I mean by a psychological operation, a psyop. Listen closely to what many of them are saying. I could probably play this clip for 2 minutes. I'm only going to play it for a short amount of time, but you get my drift.
Partisans did this on purpose. Watch them. It is, as we've said, a pandemic and an outbreak of the unvaccinated.
This is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
As Dr. Walensky said on an earlier briefing today, this is really becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Still a long way to go. The fact is, this has been a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Unvaccinated.
So they're pointing the finger at you saying this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated, folks. I mean, it's too rich when you've got Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, as Mr. Walensky said, the head of the CDC, this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated, as she's fully vaccinated and now has COVID. We've talked about the breakthrough rates as far as deaths, cases, all that. So look, you and I know that is a total misinformation campaign to suggest this is simply a pandemic of the unvaccinated. So keep that in mind. Now, let's go back in history. I'm going to play this for you, and I'm going to preface this, folks, that I know that right now I'm about to touch on some very sensitive information. So I want you to know that I know that. I respect and honor that. So I want to do this from strictly a historical perspective because history repeats itself. So the clip I'm going to play for you is again, thank you to our audience. One of you, with, by the way, the person that sent this to me, her name is Virginia. How ironic with what happened last night in Virginia, right? But the person sent this to me, and a very powerful message from a preacher, I'm not even sure where, Matthew Mayer's his name. So I have not done the research to confirm that every single word out of this person's mouth is absolutely 1000% true. Let me preface this, okay? And I did do enough research that I'm going to share with you in a moment to know that the premise of what he's saying is accurate. So listen closely and think about what I just shared with you. This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated from some of the most powerful people, not just in our country, on the planet, that continue to repeat and repeat and repeat. This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Here's what this gentleman has to say.
The media was able to convince the people that the Jews were unclean. So they were justified in putting them in colonies, quarantined. And then the people were so manipulated that when they would see Jews, they automatically made the association that they're carrying a disease, that they're contagious. Hello? We are currently in the midst of a psychological civil war in our land. And the believer knows it's spiritual, So it's greater than the vax versus the unvaxxed. By the way, last year's heroes on the front line are today's villains, and they're being sidelined.
Keep all of that in mind. Now, let's go back to history, right? This is the historical facts. During the years of the particular regime, I'm not going to even say it, German doctors frequently argued that the Jews spread disease, reflecting common themes in their propaganda. These medical professionals repeatedly, this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. These professionals repeatedly pushed the false claim that Jews were especially responsible for the outbreaks of typhus, a deadly contagious disease spread by lice. Now, if you know anything about what this situation means, is that then what happened is that now you started to see in Germany, they were called the Jewish Ghettos. And so essentially, as you talked about this gentleman, he just mentioned quarantining. We've all heard in the past me mentioning about the FEMA camps that potentially could be coming in this country, right? They're laying down the steps. They're laying down. You know what I'm trying to say. I don't want to be super explicit here because you're super smart. That's why you listen to the show and you get what I'm trying to say. So you've got now medical professionals back in the early 30s propagating false information about certain people that they were contagious for a deadly disease. Okay. You just heard this gentleman here talk about last year's heroes, meaning our first responders, are now today's villains. More on that from a historical perspective in a moment. Before I get to that, I just want to remind you. I'm just here to remind you. Just want to put some things in some context for you. Remember this, again, from late October. Town hall, which, I mean, remember the town hall with Anderson Cooper and Joe Biden? How many of you are like, what? Why? No one's even asking for a town hall. Why is CNN giving an hour, 2 hours up of their own airtime to do a town hall that nobody's even asking for? It's a PSYOP. Operation Mockingbird. But remember this question and what this gentleman was just talking about, what I just read to you. Well, actually, I'm going to get to that in a moment. Here is Joe Biden and Anderson Cooper.
As many as 1 in 3 emergency responders in some cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, right here in Baltimore, are refusing to comply with city vaccine mandates. I'm wondering where you stand on that. Should police officers, emergency responders, be mandated to get vaccines? And if not, should they be stay at home or let go?
Yes and yes.
Wow. Wow.
By the way, I waited until July to talk about mandating because I tried everything else possible.
I mean, give me a break. I waited till July. You just heard him right there. Anderson Cooper says, hey, do you think these first responders, if they don't take the shot, should they be fired? Should they be? Yes and yes. These are our first responders saving people's lives. Now, how does that fit in historically? Let me share with you. Back in 1933 to 1934, the first wave of legislation that was brought down by you-know-who to outcast Jewish citizens was called the Law for Restoration and the Professional Civil Service, signed on April 7th, 1933. Now, according to this is which Jewish and politically unreliable. Please tell me you see the pattern. This is according to which Jewish and politically unreliable civil servants, first responders, and employees were to be excluded from state service. Folks, I've got a video clip. I don't have time to play today, but there was a person that testified yesterday with Senator Ron Johnson that said there were three pilots in our armed services that had to land their planes because of post-vaccine reactions. Mandates weaken America. They don't strengthen it. Okay, so in 1933, there was a law signed that said that Jewish people and politically unreliable civil servants could no longer work for the state, the city, the government, whatever it is. In April of 1933, again, German law restricted the number of Jewish students at German schools and universities. Have you seen what's happening at University of Minnesota? We can go on and on and on down the list. Hey, You ain't got no shot. You ain't got no schooling, right? You don't get the shot. You're not going to University of Minnesota. You don't get the shot. You're not going to whatever other schools. We can go on down the list and name a bunch of those. Speaks in here about they fired, the German quote unquote government fired Jewish civilian workers from the army. Have you seen what's taking place now? There's been dishonorable discharge to people that are willing, folks, this is how stunning this is. People that are willing to voluntarily say to our nation that you and I have never even met. We've never even met these people, and they are voluntarily willing to say, yes, I will sacrifice my life for these people's freedoms that I've never met and will probably never know. And yet our government is saying, hey, if you don't take this shot, which is essentially still under emergency use authorization, if you don't take this shot, you're going to get discharged, not get your pension, your retirement. I want to plant those seeds with you today from a historical perspective so you can begin to understand the patterns of the PSYOP and the spiritual war that you and I are in. And my prayer is that it's going to compel you to talk to your family and friends and go, oh, now I'm starting to see it through the right lens. Now I'm starting to see it through the right lens. And this is why it's so critically important that I get up off my duff on Monday, go to Bismarck and bring family and friends and even people I don't know, throw them in the car, throw them in the truck, throw them in the bus, right? Go to Bismarck and let's stand together, we the people. Because guess what? If everybody doesn't comply, what are they going to do? Just open the borders up even more and let all those people take the jobs? Maybe. Okay, so we'll balkanize the nation. That's not what I want. But I'm sharing with you that if you and I, we the people, take a stand, that's the power of our voice. That's the power. We just need to do it united together. Love to know your point of view. When we come back, Jay Lundeen, the organizer of the We the People, We Will Not Comply rally, is going to join us and tell you why it's so critically important. We've been hearing it all week that, hey, the time to take action is yesterday, and you can be a part of that on Monday. Stick around right here on the Chris Berg Show.
Bank. Did you know that home loan rates are still at historic lows? That's right, there's still time to refinance. With lower rates, you can reduce your monthly payment or cut years off the term of your mortgage. Now is the time to refinance, buy, or build. Vision Bank has the best rates, responsive lenders, and will guide you through the entire process. For more information, check out visionbanks.com, call 701-364-2020, or stop into one of our 3 locations. Bank with Vision, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Hi, Tammy here from Fairy Winds Veterinary Center, and I'm excited to announce that we're now offering MLS laser therapy. This is a non-invasive procedure that reduces inflammation and pain. It increases the blood flow and accelerates the healing process. Fewer pain meds means your 4-legged family member will be back to causing trouble in no time. For more information on laser therapy, call Prairie Winds Veterinary Center at 701-356-5600. That's 701-356-5600.
When it's time to put the hammer down, build with Thor. At Thor Buildings, we'll give you a contract up front and guaranteed that price from start to finish. We specialize in post-frame construction. This means it will cost you less than traditional construction. So whether it's commercial, residential, or agriculture, it's important to us to build a quality product at a price you can afford. Let us bring your building project to life. Go online to thorbuildings.com. So when it's time to put the hammer down, build with Thor.
Hi, Jeff from A Cutting Edge, and folks, guess what? We have secured a great parcel of diamonds. There are rounds, ovals, radiants, pear shapes, marquees, cushions, every shape you can imagine, and we got a tremendous deal. So that means we're passing it on to you. Come to A Cutting Edge where you're going to save more money than you ever have before on the best diamonds in the world. A Cutting Edge, 4507 33rd Avenue South, right here in Fargo.
Don's Car Wash is now offering our new unlimited exterior wash packages at both the 52nd and 13th Avenue locations. Simply choose between the works, protection package, or base club. Then enjoy unlimited exterior washes at both locations for one low price. Plus, club members can add interior cleaning a la carte at Don's on 13th. No one puts a smile on your car like Don's Car Wash. Stop in today at either Fargo location to ask about the Unlimited Wash Club or go online at donscarwashes.com.
Last chance for a trip of a lifetime. New York City, December 7th through the 11th. Leave from your choice of Bismarck or Fargo to see the sights and sounds. Broadway show, Rockettes, breakfast free every morning, dinners together, Trump Tower, Carmine's, and Broadway before we see the Temptations. You're going to love it. Last chance to join right now. If you'd like to go, I'll send you a full itinerary. Text me 701-237-1590 or email scott8@flagfamily.com.
Will not comply. Quit trying to take me to task, cause I don't want to wear a mask or take a vaccine that could maybe make me die. They got no scientific evidence to back that crap up. All they do is feed us lie after lie. That's why I will not comply.
Yeehaw! All right, welcome back to the Chris Berg Show. Joining us right now, the organizer of the big event coming up on Monday, November 8th from noon to 2. He has been hustling to get this thing done. It's called the We the People, We Will Not Comply rally. Jay Lundeen. Jay, welcome to the show. It's great to have you. Tell people why you think it's so important that you do this now, and what do you want people to get out of the event on Monday?
Chris, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity. Chris, the most important thing is the name of the rally. It's We the People. And that's what it's about. It's not polarized to the left or to the right. It's not political. People say, well, it's political. I don't listen to political. The pendulum swings. Well, what's happening in our country, we all see it. But in our state, we don't as much. We're trusting. And that pendulum is stuck on one side right now. And that's not a good place for us to be. So what we want to impress upon people is that there's a lot of folks out there that are tired of all the talk, tired of all the rhetoric, tired of the polarization, tired of fighting with our friends and relatives even because of this polarization. And we just want to get down and say, hey, we the people, it's done. We've had enough. We're paying attention now. And we're going to work hard. We're going to provide for our families, but we're not going to be as trusting, Chris, because we're about action, not words anymore. And if we kick this thing down the can and it isn't something important enough to maybe miss a day of work, boy, I don't know what is, because these ladies and gentlemen that are supposed to represent us will be in that building on November 8th, and they'll hear us, they'll see us. What they hear and what they see will be up to your audience and people like me and you.
So I had a conversation with a gentleman this morning, and he is fed up, right? I mean, he's like, I just can't believe this. The fact that the Fargo Forum was canceling our aid commissioner, they may not publish his piece, but the fact that it even happened. So he said to me, he goes, Chris, I hear the rally, but I mean, okay, so I go and I hold up some signs. What's that really going to do? What would you say to somebody like that?
What I would say to someone like that is, you're a patriot, you're frustrated, and we're with you, brother. What you do and why it's so important that you stand there with your sign is they've won this game by using optics, ladies and gentlemen, optics. Let's give them real optics. We could have got a President Trump type person at this rally and got 70,000 people, but that's not what this is about. This is not about Trump. This is about us, we the people. And by standing there, they're going to take notice, because typical rallies are 1,500 people. Whoopee, whoopee. This is going to be a lot bigger than that if we take action. We can kick it down the curb. Our vote doesn't matter. We're just one person. Our social media warriors and chat room warriors complaining about the way things are. We all got to get off our butt, including me, and we got to show up. We just got to stand there. We don't have to give up our livelihoods, but we do have to stand there. And Chris, honestly, if that's not important enough to citizens and patriots and all kinds, then I don't know what is.
So without making assumptions, I'm presuming because the 8th is when they kick off the special session,
Right.
I believe that you would like to see our legislators do something that's going to say, hey, no mas, no mandates in this state. And so really, when you break down the numbers, it's really going to be based on 21 people, meaning you've got 5 in this delayed bill and then 16 on this other thing that they need to go do, this technical committee or something like that. So I think the beauty is if we can break it down to, hey, there's 21 people that we need to influence. Now we've got a chance to make a difference. Brent McCarthy saying, hey, I'm there, dude. So is that a fair assessment on my part that you're saying, yes, Chris, we do want no mandate? And I've got 90 seconds here. We're going to keep you in the next segment, but do you want to have the legislatures pass a bill that says no mandate? And then what's important is everyone starts contacting these legislators saying, hey, stop this. Let's enjoy our freedoms.
Absolutely. Chris, I'm involved with people that have got the vaccine, vetted it. They felt good about it. And I felt good about it for them. But they're the same people that are in this camp and will be shouting on the 8th of November. No vaccines. We will make that choice. If you get vaccinated, that's great, wonderful, good for, I understand, respect it, and appreciate it. But you're protected. I'm not. And I don't want the vaccine for various reasons that are personal to me. So don't make me do something that you're protected from already.
Hey,
That's
that was
all.
very well said. I think it boils down to personal choice because
right,
we live in America. That's important. I'm going to give out the names real quickly
Land of the
here.
free.
Exactly. If you're watching our live stream, super producer Chris, bring these names and numbers up quickly. But remember, on the House, the delayed House Bills Committee is Chet Pollard, Kim Koppelman, Josh Boucher, Scott Lauser, Elisa Mitzgog. Again, that's on our live stream. We'll repeat this in a moment because we come back. Jay's going to stick around, plus a very special guest that wrote a powerful letter to our governor and much more. Stay with us.
Throughout the evening hours, we'll continue to see light winds out of the south between 5 and 10 miles per hour, with temperatures falling through the 40s into the 30s, bottoming out to a low of 25 tonight with mostly clear skies and light winds. The winds will pick up for your Thursday, though, around 10 to 20 out of the south. It'll be mostly sunny again with a high near 52. The clouds then roll in for your Friday. We'll call it partly sunny with a high in the lower 50s and south winds between 10 and 25. From the Flag Skywatch Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm.
The Shields Visa Card Member Appreciation Event is here. Now through November 14th, card members can earn 5 points per dollar on Shields purchases, plus up to an additional $25 off your favorite items when using your Shields Visa. Whether you're shopping for yourself or the entire family, it's the perfect time to take advantage of being a card member. Not a card member? Apply now in store, through the Shields app, or online at shields.com/Visa card. Reward your passion with a Shields Visa. Got it.
Sean Spicer's new Radical Nation blows the lid off Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's real socialist plan for America. President Trump says you must read this book. Newt Gingrich says Radical Nation can stop the far left. For the first, Radical Nation reveals Biden's socialist plan, the stuff you'll never see on the big networks. Massive spending, inflation soaring, a border in crisis, new dangers with China. Sean Spicer knows Washington's insider secrets. He reveals them in Radical Nation. Watch Sean and Lindsay Keith each weekday on Newsmax, Spicer and Company at 5 Central on all major cable channels. Or find Newsmax on streaming platforms and smart TVs like Samsung, LG, Roku, Xumo, Amazon Fire, Pluto, and more. And make sure you get Radical Nation, a #1 Amazon bestseller. It's at bookstores everywhere, or check out the free offer for Radical Nation. Save almost $28. Go to RadicalNation411.com. RadicalNation411.com and the free offer for Sean Spicer's Radical Nation.
Attention, all patriots. Jobs are being threatened with unlawful vaccine mandates. Our government is being used to pit friend against friend, brother against brother. On November 8th in Bismarck, we the people will rally on the Capitol steps at high noon. This is our time to say enough. As patriots, we take individual responsibility and we stand for our individual freedoms. We respect all people, no matter their race, color, or creed. As patriots, we will stand united and we will be heard on November 8th in Bismarck on the Capitol steps at high noon. Join us.
The generous Jerry from Gold Silver Exchange Grand Forks is with us to talk about precious metals. In times of trouble, people turn to precious metals. Jerry, why is that?
Well, gold and silver historically have always been real money. And one of the problems we're going to be facing in the future here is with all this $6 trillion that the government has put into the economy, it's going to create inflation. And gold and silver are a very great insurance program against inflation because during inflationary times, they hold value, whereas your dollars that you have in your pocket lose value. So it takes more dollars to buy the same amount of product that you're buying today. So we highly recommend now is a good time to be investing in precious metals.
Call Jerry, 701-746-9950. Stop and see him at 2124 Gateway Drive, Grand Forks.
That's how you change the world.
Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show. We got a couple of very special guests joining us here because we want to share the opportunity with you to join We the People, you and I, the average everyday Joe and Jane going on saying, hey, enough is enough with the mandates, with the loss of our freedoms. As you know, here on the Chris Berg Show, this is your oasis of freedom, your oasis of truth every single day for an hour. So I want to invite you to check out a website. It's wethepeoplend.com. Again, wethepeoplend.com, and come out and join thousands and thousands of people that are going to be saying, hey, we will not comply in Bismarck from noon to 2 at the state capitol. And joining us now to talk more about this, the organizer of the event, Jay Lundeen out of Minot, and also Susie Oliver. She is the district chair for District 11 with the North Dakota Republican Party. She put together just a phenomenal letter to Governor Berg and the House and Senate majority leaders. I posted it up on our Facebook page and Twitter. So Susie, Jay, thanks so much for joining us. And Susie, I want to start with you. First off, thank you for this letter you put together. I think it's almost a model that people could use to just send to our legislators and say, hey, stop it with the mandates. Tell us a little bit more about the letter for the people that haven't read it and what you're hoping to accomplish on the 8th at the big We the People rally.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it. I think the letter really is an appeal to reason and just common sense. It's not, Republican versus Democrat. It's not vax versus unvaxxed. It's really just an appeal to reason. I really put an emphasis on, scientifically based. I included actually some peer-reviewed studies as well, some historical examples, because I think it's important to recognize where we're headed as a country and the implications of what we're deciding right now have impacts for the future.
Very, very well said. And again, I would encourage people to go check it out. It's at facebook.com/Chris Berg Show. And it is extremely, extremely well done. It's up on our StreamYard right now as well. And Jay, I'll give you another shot here to just tell people about, hey, why you think it's an absolute must, rent buses, trucks, but we just need people there to let their voice be heard.
Chris, and part of it is just what you just heard from Miss Susie. I mean, she is a clear, articulate, common sense, logical patriot right in Fargo. And I'm getting to meet people like that. And I encourage everyone out there that you're going to meet a lot of like-minded people, and it's going to feel good. We've got a lot of pent-up energy, Chris. We're in an environment that's so polarized that if you say the wrong word, for the love of all things holy, you might lose your job or worse. That's ridiculous. Now in North Dakota, people say, well, that's not happening. Guys, it's right around the corner if we don't stop now. Susie and I, different ends of the state, we're kindred spirits. We haven't met yet, but she's my sister. And I think every one of us can use a little of that. And it's a time that every major city in North Dakota should give their employees paid time off to be there. And that's what guys like me, and I have fellow patriots, small business owners that are going to do the same thing. In Bismarck, it should be pretty easy to give them a 2-hour lunch break, Bismarck. That's my feeling, Chris.
I love that. That is fantastic. Susie,
we got to give to get, Chris.
Yeah,
we got to give to get.
It's exactly right. Hey, Biden's giving people paid time off to go take the shot, right? Why can't we give people paid time off to go and voice their opinion. And I think one of the
Right.
big things that Jay said, Susie, I just want to get your take on is, look, congratulations. If you took the shot, then good for you. You sat with your doctor, I presume, and made a personal decision, a personal choice to do that. Is that essentially what this is for you, is about having that personal freedom, that personal choice?
Yeah, I think it also comes down to basic human rights. We have the liberty to make our own decisions. I think people know what's best for them. They're going to do what's best for them and best for their community. So I don't think it has to be one size fits all. I think that's counterintuitive and counterproductive to what we want to accomplish as a nation. And really, we're about we the people. It's personal liberty and bodily autonomy, and making sure that each person makes that decision for themselves, and not this one size fits all coming down from the government. I think that's extremely dangerous.
Boy, very, very well said. Again, I want to remind everybody, if you can go to the website, wethepeoplend.com. Again, wethepeoplend.com. There you can get more information about the rally that's taking place. And super producer Chris, if you can bring up the people to contact. I do want to spend some time here and then give Jay and Susie a chance just to respond to this. But again, when you look at this from a strategic perspective, folks, if you're someone, and again, however you see this, if you want mandates, let legislators know. If you don't, let them know that as well. But it's really about 21 people. There's 5 people on a delayed committees bill in the House, 5 in the Senate, right? But then there's 16 that are going to be in this other committee once you get past this delayed committee bill. I don't want to get too wonky, so I don't make it simple, but I'm going to give you some people here to contact and share from your heart. As Representative Jim Casper said, look, if you email us and you communicate from your heart how you feel about something, they will listen. They will take that and say, okay, this is important to understand. So it's Representative Chet Pollard. He's the House leader, obviously. Representative Kim Koppelman, Representative Josh Boucher, Representative Scott Lauser, and Representative Lisa Mitzcog. So those 5 are on the House Delayed Bills Committee. You can contact those 5 and let them know your point of view on where you're at as far as what's the legislation you want to get done in this special session to ensure that North Dakota can position itself as the freest state in the nation. Jay, I'm going to go to you, and then we'll go to Susie. Just your thoughts on being strategic and contacting these legislators, and do you feel that actually makes a difference?
I do, Chris. I think it makes a big difference. I think when the mask mandate came back and our Democrat governor kicked back that in the transgender bill, we flooded their offices and we got the votes needed because we, the people, hammered them with emails and phone calls. And for those folks that just think they're one vote, I tell you what, your email to them and a phone call to them, even if they don't take the phone call, just the message to them, the email to them, patriots, all of us are going to unite around this. And Chet and the rest of the leadership that talk a lot about, Republicans winning elections. And I don't want to make this political, but geez, 7 Republicans to 1 Democrat in our state. And we are a state that is a safe haven for transgender because our governor, a Republican, said so.
Susie, your thoughts?
Absolutely. It makes a difference. There's strength in numbers, and ultimately, these representatives are public servants. They're not here to make the decision for themselves. They're here to listen. And when enough of their constituents reach out and say, this is important to me, I'm going to lose my job, that brings in a whole new level of responsibility for them. And I think in closing, what I want to leave your listeners with is being involved in politics doesn't take a special person. It's being a district chair isn't a special person. It's taking the time, taking the dedication needed to be involved and make a difference.
To both of you, thank you for taking a stand. Jay, thank you for taking the time, the energy to put this rally together with a special session. Susie, fantastic letter you put out there. Again, if you want to go check it out, Susie's letter, you can go to our Facebook page. And most importantly, right now, go to wethepeoplend.com. Again, wethepeoplend.com. You can find out more about the rally. Come join us Monday, noon to 2. I'll be emceeing the event. We've got Charlie Kirk, who's going to be there. And I don't want to give this away, but is there a special musician that's going to be there as well, Jay?
A very, very special, excited, patriot musician, Chris.
Is he coming for sure?
He's here, brother. He's already here. He's floating around in Nashville, but he's already on the plane to Bismarck. He just doesn't know it because he's still floating around Nashville.
Wow.
Yeah, he's coming, brother. He's coming. I will not comply. And business owners, capitalists, don't tell your employees they have to get a jab to work for you. Respect them. Let them get it if they want. Respect them too. But if they don't, respect them. And I just want to say, I can't wait to meet Susie. She's a rock star.
Yes, she is. So this is for both of you and everybody else out there that wants to join us on the 8th. Again, Monday, noon to 2. Emily Erickson says, hey, Hagen says, I'm going. There's going to be a bunch of people out there joining us. Great opportunity to let your voice be heard. And Susie and Jay, this is for both of you.
I will not comply. Quit trying to take me to task, cause I don't want to wear a mask or take a vaccine that could maybe make me die. They got no scientific evidence to back that crap up. All they do is feed us lie after lie. That's why
I will not comply. Yes. That's right. Blind Joe is going to be at the rally in Bismarck singing, and Jay, correct me if I'm wrong here, the national anthem and I will not comply. Is that true?
You are a good singer, buddy. I think you and him need to do a duet. It's absolutely unequivocally true. It's true.
Oh,
Absolutely
ladies and
true,
gentlemen,
brother.
Blind Joe is going to be in the house in Bismarck.
In the hizzle.
Oh
In the
my
hizzle.
gosh, am I excited about that. Singing his new hit song that's just been, blowing up internationally, folks. I Will Not Comply by Blind Joe. So that in of itself is reason to come out and join us again, noon to 2, Monday the 8th at the Capitol Steps in Bismarck. To both of you, God bless you. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you on Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris.
All right, you guys, take care. All right, stick around. We got much more coming up here on the Chris Berg Show. We'd love to hear your point of view. Number to call in is 701-271-1100. Again, 701-271-1100.
Welcome to Soybean Minute, your source for timely soybean news.
I'm North Dakota Soybean Council Director Jennifer Meyer of Wilton, reminding farmers to keep safety in mind during fall harvest. Here are some harvest safety tips. Remember to wear ear protection because loud farm equipment can cause permanent hearing damage. Don't risk life and limb. Always shut off equipment before doing maintenance. Always. Protect yourself from inhaling dangerous crop dust and mold by wearing the proper personal protection equipment. When driving large farm equipment on public roads, be safety-minded not just for yourself, but for other drivers as well. Make sure everybody knows how to safely operate the equipment they're using. Mistakes can be dangerous and expensive. And here's an easy one. Take breaks to clear your head and rest. It can get monotonous out there during harvest. Play it safe when you work and have a great harvest.
This message is brought to you by the North Dakota Soybean Council and the Soybean Checkoff.
Vince Webker's back from Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables 2 to talk wellness. The colder weather is upon us. Great time to be thinking about being in a hot spring spa, being in a sauna. It's wellness.
It is wellness. You listen to the podcast. Rhonda Patrick, there's so much to talk about a sauna in terms of wellness and what it does for the human body. If you're thinking about this, go listen to her. She's calling the sauna the miracle of the medical world, which will be discovered in the next 10 years.
And heart doctors couldn't agree anymore. They are the ones that are going to her seminars.
And the heart was just one part of this whole wellness, human body, and what the sauna, heat proteins, and everything that it does for you. And if you're remotely curious about a sauna, you need to discover Rhonda Patrick and her podcast, or come see us at Hot Spring Spas. We can give you the play-by-play detail of how a sauna will benefit you.
There are tools to improve your health. Call Vince and his team at 844-200-7727, 844-200-7727, or check them out online. Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables 2.com.
For more than 40 years, Jose Investments has brought plans to life and made dreams come true by delivering expertise and service to those wishing to lease office space, buy or sell land, or develop office buildings. Their team of professionals has extensive experience with landlords, tenants, buyers, sellers, and developers in the tri-state region. They know the properties They know the market. When you look to the future, look to Jose Investments. Go online to joseinvestments.com. That's KJOS Investments.com.
Hey guys, Kyle Cornell here, host of Kyle's Corner, which airs every Friday during the Blitz.
Nice to be able to fulfill something and to continue to do something and not just push it away.
A chance to get to know the young student athletes that are leading our community.
I think I'm learning to step up in that role as the person who the younger guys and other guys in the system can look up to.
That's right. Make sure you tune into the Blitz Fridays at 6 on AM 1100 The Flag and WDAY Radio to hear rock stars like these guys talk and all the high school sports coverage you need.
Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show. Great to have you with us here on this, what is it, Wednesday afternoon already? Holy cow, the week is just absolutely flying by. I want to say thank you to the We the People, We Will Not Comply rally, and they're doing obviously that all about freedom. The reason they're having the rally in Monday in Bismarck is to preserve and protect our God-given, inalienable freedoms. And one of the most important freedoms that we have today that seems to be amiss is the fact that, yes, you and I have got rights over our own body. I've been asking this question now for quite some time during the show, going, hey, if you don't even have the rights over your own body, what does that make you? You know the answer. I don't need to say it. So we talk about one thing here is health freedom. We've also shared at length here on the show that one of the things that really stirs in my heart and my stomach is the fact that, okay, you can go ahead and push pharma on us, but also why don't we have more people that are talking about health freedom, wellness? What can we do to actually improve our own immune system? So there's now, this is great news, folks. There's now a local company that is helping to empower you around your own wellness and your own health freedom. It's Checkable Wellness. So go to checkablewellness.com. Again, checkablewellness.com. Joining us in studio for just a couple moments is the CEO, Patty Post. So Patty, welcome to the show. It's great to have you. Love to know, why did you say, hey, we're going to move from Minnesota to what I'm going to say is the most free state in the nation, North Dakota?
Oh, Chris, it's so great to be here. We moved the company from Minneapolis to Fargo because this great state has so many opportunities for business owners and just like-minded individuals and a community that really has family health. Health needs to be optimized. And that's what we're bringing to consumers. One platform.
Talk about that. Checkablewellness.com. Go check out our website. By the way, your first order, you get 25% off right now. So at checkablewellness.com, go check it out. But I've talked to you before and you said, Chris, I'm a mom on a mission. What's the mission of Checkable Wellness?
My mission is to empower the average person to make healthcare decisions from home. Convenient, less expensive, and our wellness line, we are helping you optimize your health. Just like why you go to the gym to work out, why you eat a healthy meal, you make healthy choices. That's what we're launching with, is a wellness line to optimize your health. Then we're going to come out with diagnostics, a telemedicine platform, the first at-home strep test, which we're running clinical with. And North Dakota has supported this research and development that it takes to get this product and this company to market.
So I've used some of your products in checkablewellness.com, checkablewellness.com. What's your favorite product?
Oh, my favorite product are the apple cider vinegar gummies.
All right, so go check them out. They've got those. I've used the melatonin, folks, and we've talked about this before. You're stressed out. You got a bunch of kids running around. It can be hard to manage everything, if you will, and you need a good night's sleep if you're going to get up and be productive the next day. Their melatonin works. Again, it's checkablewellness.com, checkablewellness.com. Go there now and get 25% off. Okay, thank you so much for joining us here. Thank you, Patty. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we want to just remind you about what is going on and what's at stake. In case you missed the beginning of the show, I shared with you from a historical perspective the biggest PSYOP, again, that's a psychological operation, the biggest PSYOP in the history of mankind that you and I are experiencing right now, and really the spiritual warfare that we're in. So what you can do to sort of see it from a different perspective understand it. And again, ideally, don't give in to a spirit of fear, which seems to be so pervasive for many people these days, but rather go out there and have a spirit of love, power, and a sound mind. That's where health, freedom, and wellness comes into effect, because if you feel well, you're obviously going to have much more of a sound mind. So speaking of feeling well, and we've seen the VAERS numbers in regards to this COVID shot and why we're inviting people to take a stand for their own bodily rights. I mentioned this earlier in the show. I want to play you for it now. I've not had a chance to watch the entire testimony yesterday with Senator Ron Johnson. I hear it was amazing. I hear it was amazing what Senator Ron Johnson put together with a panel of vaccine experts, COVID vax experts. But I want to share with you one. This is U.S. Army Brigade Surgeon, Dr. Horick. Army Brigade Surgeon. Listen to what she testified with Senator Ron Johnson about yesterday.
With respect to aviation safety, risk communication is critical. I saw 5 patients in clinic, 2 of which presented with chest pain days to weeks after vaccination and were subsequently diagnosed with pericarditis and worked up to rule out myocarditis. The 3rd pilot had been vaccinated and felt like he was drunk, chronically fatigued within 24 hours after vaccination. The pilot told me he didn't know what to do, so he drank a lot of coffee to try and, quote, wake himself up, and continued to fly until he realized it wasn't going away. After I reported to my command my concerns that in one morning I had to ground 3 out of 3 pilots due to vaccine injuries, the next day my patients were canceled, my charts were pulled for review, and I was told that I would not be seeing acute patients anymore, just healthy pilots there for their flight physical.
Can you imagine? You get into an airplane, you presume the person is going to be okay, and you hear this story. It goes back to what I said yesterday. She just got canceled. What are they afraid of? We told you yesterday, Forum Communications did not publish a duly elected North Dakota Ag Commissioner here in the great state of North Dakota because he wrote an op-ed that said, hey, companies shouldn't dictate choices. Now, I have been told by Scott Hennon since then that, hey, look, Scott, we wanted to reach back out to Commissioner Goring to confirm this was actually him. He didn't get back to them. And it sounds like now they are going to actually publish Commissioner Goring's op-ed, which is a no-brainer. And you know, whether it was the actual commissioner, an elected commissioner or not, it's an op-ed. What is Forum Communications afraid of that somebody's going to say in regards to companies shouldn't dictate choices? This is about freedom. It's about freedom. So with that, I want to remind you, because you've got the freedom on Fridays to join us here at Flag Family Media. We've got our feel-good, faith-filled fun Fridays coming up. Andrew Slayton, the pastor in town, is going to be joining us. He is absolutely phenomenal. You're going to love his voice. He's got a great radio voice, so be sure and join us for that. And what's really fun is that we did this last week with Miss North Dakota. Then afterwards, you can join us for free food. So free food at this event on Friday from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Come out and have some free food. Thank you to Casey Joe's Catering. Patty was there last week. It's fun, good people hanging out. You get some food and some fellowship. And speaking about food, I want to remind you, as you're driving right now, or maybe you're about to jump in the car, be sure and stop by your local PetroServe USA, grab some gas and some goodies. And I always say, be sure and get some cookies because they are absolutely addictive at PetroServe USA. You grab one, you're like, oh, I need like 2 or 3 more of those things. So go ahead and grab those. This is the Chris Berg Show. I love you. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 4 p.m.